What's up, everybody? I'm Phil. That's Sam.
Hey, guys. Welcome back.
We're coming to some more Muay Thai. After we had done Rodtang, we'd done introductory video to him. He was wild. And then we did the fight between Mighty Mouse, your favorite name, Demetrius Johnson, and Rodtang. That had the combination of MMA and Muay Thai fighting in that one.
I was going to say what happened, but I don't want to ruin it for you if you haven't seen it yet.
Yes, go and watch that one. And now we got Buakaw. Buakaw. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name here.
It's an interesting name.
I think I've heard Joe Rogan talk about him before as one of the dominant Muay Thai fighters. We were reading he's got over 300 victories all time.
That's insane.
Which is, I've never even heard a number close to that. Which
like
is
how
wild.
Not alone even victories. Like some people don't even. I feel like don't fight that much in their entire career.
Yeah. So kickboxing and Muay Thai he's known for. So this video that we're coming to is brutal knockouts destroying monsters. So this is going to be our first introduction to him. Yeah. So if you got other videos that you want to drop down below, because we had to start somewhere, maybe this is not a great video, but you can let us know down below. Let us know if there's other Muay Thai or other fighters in general you want us to react to. We love checking this stuff out. I'm a big UFC fan. I forced Sam to watch it with me, and so
I'm here for the ride.
So she's well educated now. She's upped her game quite a bit. So now we're gonna do that a little bit more for the both of us with Muay Thai and kickboxing from Buakaw. You ready?
I am. Let's do it.
Let's go.
How brutal was Buakaw's next level power? The legend is both frightening and incredible. He often gets angry and then smashes his opponents.
Smashes them.
The power in his punches and kicks are extraordinary, and just one shot could end a fight. You see, the best way to describe Buakaw's striking style is that it is cruel. An apex predator hunting his prey.
An apex predator.
After all, Buakaw believes that in order to succeed as a fighter, he must be cruel. Now the world knows Buakaw as a brutal fighter who channels his anger and destroys his monstrous opponents.
Oh, it's like Max Holloway.
But even more importantly, he is a great ambassador for Muay Thai. The people of Thailand love him, and rightfully so. He ushered Muay Thai to its greatest international heights when it was on the verge of dying. For many, he is a real-life superhero, a true rags-to-riches story. Born to a farming family, Buakaw was the underdog who became the biggest superstar of Muay Thai. By destroying so many world champions, he introduced masses of people to the combat sports world. Combining supreme confidence with humility, aided by controlled temper and brutal power, he showed the world something that most didn't know.
Sheesh.
Many coaches say not to fight with emotions, but Buakaw's passion of fighting is what got so many people around the world into Muay Thai. And yet, despite all of his legendary moments, many of his opponents still believe it'd be a good idea to make him angry. What a terribly sad mistake that is. Let's see how Buakaw knocks out those who dare to make him angry. Here are 17 of his most impressive knockouts.
We've already seen like 30.
I know. I'm like, holy crap.
We're just getting
I guess when you're pulling from 300 victories, there's lots to choose from.
Yeah, but like I thought some of those might have been just some amateur fights and stuff. But yeah, we're just getting into the video now after we've seen him annihilate everybody. He also looks very unassuming.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't look like an intimidating figure, generally speaking.
I mean, there's one where he was like hanging on the ring, he was given a pretty mean mug.
But if you just saw him walking down the street, I don't think you would look at him being as like, oh, that's a scary dude, but he's one of the scariest on the planet.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they'll give us more information on him, but I'm also curious to know how much he weighs, because I feel like he's hitting people pretty hard and like knocking them out. And usually when he looks like a smaller guy in general, and I feel like usually when you weigh less, it's harder to get a lot of knockouts.
He could have different weight classes. He could be different weight classes in some of these clips.
True.
So you guys can let us know what his general weight class is.
Buakaw versus Katsumori Maita. In the second round, Buakaw marched forward for a clinching right knee. This landed flush, but the opponent was tough and got up to keep fighting.
Knee to the body.
But Buakaw continued pressing forward, backing his opponent into the corner and landing another right knee, ending the fight.
Ooh. Jeez.
Right after the fight, Buakaw charmed another ring girl. Just look at how happy this girl was.
That's what charming the ring girls are like.
Shishido.
That was slightly random.
Buakaw was an absolute beast against Hiroki. Hiroki came out swinging for the fences and backing Buakaw to the ropes. But Buakaw wasn't having it. He went for a sweep and then a full powered high kick. While that didn't land, you can see the panic on his opponent already. As Hiroki charged him one more time, Buakaw landed a perfect check left hook that dropped his opponent immediately. The opponent also landed his own left hook, but Buakaw's left hook was just way stronger and with much better technique. With this one punch knockout,
right on the
Buakaw
chin.
then looked over him like an absolute badass. To celebrate, he did a cartwheel. Buakaw versus Jun Kim.
Jun Kim.
Buakaw began the fight with a nut shot. Then when they clinched, Buakaw pushed off into a perfect high kick. He pushed with his right hand to frame, and when the opponent stepped back, his downward high kick landed perfectly, resulting in a knockdown.
That was great. Wow.
To end the round, Buakaw landed another high kick and got his opponent backed up against the corner, which allowed him to throw a right hook that downed his opponent again. To his opponent's credit, he kept getting up and fighting. When the next round began, Buakaw put on the pressure and went for hard roundhouses. When he missed, the opponent rushed in with a jab and allowed Buakaw to land a perfect check hook.
Jeez. On the
Finished this
button.
fight, as the opponent rushed in for a big right hand, Buakaw pulled back to dodge the punch and clocked the opponent with his own right hand as he fell in. This is a textbook example of how to throw a right hand versus how not to throw a right hand.
Easy.
Buakaw versus Black Mamba.
Kobe
When
Bryant?
Buakaw fought
That's
Black Mamba,
interesting.
Mamba did well by moving around on the outside and throwing power strikes there. He even landed a flush groin shot to Buakaw's nuts. But Buakaw, being the Iron Man that he is, didn't even flinch. Mamba was doing excellent offensively and getting the better of the exchanges. That was until he decided it would be a good idea to push kick Buakaw, which enabled him to use his signature catch into left hook again. Lesson learned, don't try to push kick a legendary Muay Thai fighter.
On the button
When Mamba
again.
got up, he was no longer the same fighter, so Buakaw walked him down and eventually landed two flush right hands when Mamba tried to knee Buakaw in the clinch. Why in the world would an opponent try to out Muay Thai a legendary Muay Thai fighter? No one knows, but he learned his lesson. Buakaw versus Abdul Torre. Against Abdul, Buakaw had just come off of a gym contract dispute. He hadn't been paid for all of his fighting efforts throughout his last decade. Abdul thought this fight was an exhibition, and he didn't know that nut teeps are legal in Muay Thai, so Buakaw continued to push kick him to the nuts as he complained. After pressing forward the entire fight, as Abdul rushed in for an elbow, Buakaw landed a beautiful roundhouse knee. This technique is a roundhouse that lands as the knee when the opponent rushes in. After the
that
strike,
looks like it
Buakaw
hurts.
looked back at his opponent and knew that he was not getting up from that nasty strike. In
I've never really seen somebody use that so effectively, the knee to the body.
That looked like it hurt,
Oh,
especially
yeah.
as he's coming in. It's like the impact.
Oh yeah, because your obviously ribs are protecting your internal organs and stuff there, but that's great. Like that could break your ribs 100%.
Yeah, it's crazy. I also saw in one of those intro clips, I think it said the weight class that he was in, one of them was 65 kilograms. So that answers my question.
Got it. Yeah, he. I didn't think that you were able to kick below the belt in this, but I guess there's different rules for different fight arenas, but that was eye-opening to me. See a fight that was supposed to be an exhibition, and this guy's like, "No, I'm going to break you in half."
Kick you in the private regions.
Yeah, he's got crazy accuracy though. Like some of these shots right on the button.
And his timing is obviously
Yeah,
very good because he's
very
timing it
good.
right as they're coming in, right?
Yeah.
back at his opponent and knew that he was not getting up from that nasty strike. In 2014, Abdul Torre decided to rematch Buakaw for the WBC title. Buakaw once again push-kicked him to the nuts. To rock his opponent, Buakaw pumped out his jab to his opponent's ill-advised head movement. As the opponent moved his head to the right, Buakaw did a super quick switch kick to Abdul's head. His opponent was clearly rocked, so Buakaw did a spinning kick followed by a
Spinning
bunch
kick.
of jumping attacks.
Wow.
To land his first knockdown, Buakaw threw a flying knee off of a clinch break. When the knee didn't land, he used it to grab a single collar and tracked his opponent's spin to throw an overhand elbow. The fight was finished by the same technique as Abdul rushed into the clinch with a combination. These knockouts show that Buakaw is extremely consistent with identifying a weakness and finishing an opponent with them.
That's
Buakaw
wild.
versus Wang Wei Hao. Against Hao, the Chinese champion spinning back kicked Buakaw to the groin. Buakaw told him to kick higher. Then when Hao came in for a hook, Buakaw countered the hook with a perfect overhand. The next knockdown, Buakaw pressed forward to land a lunging left hook that levered into a high kick. The high kick landed as the opponent missed the right hand with no guard and no stance. Even worse, Hao leaned into the high kick, and Buakaw even landed a Superman right hand as the opponent fell down. When Hao got up, Buakaw chased him down with a knee. Hao ran away, which allowed Buakaw to land another right high kick.
Oh my god.
This time, Hao gave up. Buakaw versus Piscitello. Against Piscitello, Buakaw got into a good brawl, but eventually the momentum shifted when they got into the clinch, and Buakaw picked up the opponent and chucked him on the ground. When they clinched up again, Buakaw blocked his opponent's attempt to hold his neck with his elbow, and then shoved the elbow in for a beautiful knockdown. Then when Mikhail went for a rear push kick, Buakaw caught the kick and went for a left body hook. As his momentum moved forward, he used it to pendulum into trapping the opponent's lead arm and then into another overhand elbow. There was just no getting up from that.
He's so effective.
Buakaw versus Zadipov Rustam. Against Zadipov Rustam, Buakaw again got into a nice brawl with his opponent. However, as the fight went on, Buakaw was simply the better and more conditioned man. No longer was Zadipov smiling whenever Buakaw landed shots. In round 2, Buakaw pressed forward and framed his lead hand on his opponent to chuck a throwaway uppercut that levered into a huge left hook. To finish the fight, Buakaw pressed his opponent against the corner and landed a huge overhand. When the opponent didn't go down after getting rocked, Buakaw hand-trapped the opponent's arm with an overhand again.
Oh my goodness.
Knocked down the ref
He went on a punchy rampage, followed by an uppercut elbow, and ended the fight with a right hook.
Boom. Boom. Done.
Buakaw versus David Calvo. Buakaw's fight with Calvo was one of the most epic knockouts he's had. The opponent again thought it'd be a good idea to go for a push kick. Buakaw grabbed the push kick to lever into a body hook. He continued the combination by throwing a high kick into a left body hook once again. The opponent got up and put up a good fight, which made Buakaw smirk and wave him on.
There, Calvo starting to fire, and Buakaw comes, says, "Bring it!"
As Buakaw backed Calvo into the corner, Calvo went for a very ill-advised jumping knee. Buakaw was never in any threat, and as Calvo landed, he was met with a powerful lunging left hook to the body that sent him flying. Buakaw celebrated explosively with a well-deserved knockout victory. Buakaw.
Yeah, he's crazy, man. His speed is crazy. I mean, I don't know if I should use the same words to describe him over and over again.
Conceptualize anything else because it is
He's
crazy.
Just blown my mind.
It also seems like he's always thinking multiple moves ahead. It's not like he's like, okay, I'm going to punch him and then see what happens and then go from there. It's like, no, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this.
That's Sam's combination training for you guys. And yeah, so like you said, his combinations are great. His speed is great, but his accuracy is so fantastic. You see when he's hitting like in the body, it's like his entire fist and the point where you want to lay the fist on the opponent in the body in this instance, it's hitting right at the right spot with all the force that you could possibly imagine. You know, that's one of the things, right? Like about punching, like you can throw a punch and you can hit somebody, but if you don't hit them at the right time, as you alluded to his timing, then it won't have the same emphasis on the power going through. But you see, like when the guy jumped towards him, came down, he's like, oh, his body's wide open and just slap. But he had to hit him like right in the right spot, in the right area at the right time. And by doing so, he's just out of it.
He's very impressive.
He is. He's very, very impressive striking skills.
Buakaw versus Gu Hui. When Buakaw started to fight in China,
He took on their best fighters and became a superstar. In this fight against Hui, he trapped his opponent's head in the clinch and landed repeated knees until the opponent fell down. The opponent's head was trapped beneath Buakaw's armpit, and while pushing his opponent down and getting an underhook, Buakaw ensured he had the perfect position to throw as many knees as he wanted.
That's clinical right there.
Buakaw vs Maron Tutu. Against Tutu, Buakaw landed 2 switch kicks in a row as the opponent tried to move forward.
Nice.
Then on the third charge, Buakaw timed a perfect check left hook again. It didn't matter that the opponent had a guard. Buakaw landed above the guard. Then as the opponent touched the ground, Buakaw soccer kicked him in the head. When Tutu got up, Buakaw looked annoyed and hunted the finish. With typical Hulk smash style, Buakaw tossed his opponent to the floor with an angry face. Then when he got up, he lunged in for a power left hook. With absolutely no guard, Buakaw jumped in for what's essentially a left hook haymaker.
Damn.
That was crazy.
There was simply no getting up from that punch.
This guy's like,
Lights
Buakaw
out.
versus Nayanesh Ayman. Against Ayman, Buakaw again lunged in for a jumping left hook. There
So
wasn't a whole lot
fast,
of
man.
technique here, but it doesn't matter. If Buakaw lunges in and touches the opponent with a left hook, they go down. The opponent also tried to throw his own left hook, but Buakaw landed his lunging left hook while the opponent's hook completely missed the mark.
Insane.
This is the first time we've seen a shifting rear left hook punch. Buakaw versus Timur Dao. After backing up Timur against the corner, Buakaw jumped up for a flying knee while grabbing the back of Timur's head. After landing flush and hurting Timur, he spun his opponent around and finished the fight with a vicious elbow. This was a classic knee into elbow chain that few in the world has ever seen outside of Muay Thai.
Knee, rotate him around, hit him with the elbow. That's wild.
Buakaw was only 20 years young.
Wow.
We got a peek into how charismatic Buakaw was when he started dancing with a ring girl. But with all of Buakaw's boyish humour and silliness, when it's time to fight, he fights like a monster.
oh my god.
Buakaw versus Chris Gimby. Against Gimby, Buakaw threw a right hook to the body. Then he pushed Gimby out into the long range and used his right hand to create a blind spot on his opponent's right side.
Dropped
Then he threw a power
immediately.
high kick where the opponent couldn't see and landed a picture perfect high kick as the opponent thought it was a middle kick. To end the fight, Buakaw pushed his opponent to the ropes and landed a spree of right cross left hook combinations.
This guy's combos are insane.
Buakaw celebrated like a king, and a king of Muay Thai he is. Buakaw versus Jomhor Giat Adisak. In 2006, after getting the criticism that Buakaw doesn't fight champions from Muay Thai, he fought Thai legend Jomhor Giat Adisak. Although Jomhor was 36 years old, he was still fresh off of a 19-fight win streak.
Wow.
To start the finish of this fight, Buakaw would land a beautiful right hand left hook into low kick that rocked the legendary opponent. The right hand is a throwaway punch to load the power left hook to the body, and then the power low kick is delivered when the stance is disrupted.
Insane.
Jomhor gets up, but Buakaw ruthlessly hunts the body again, finishing the fight with a powerful right hook to the body as the opponent scrambles out of panic. After this fight,
Literal
Buakaw would never
beatdown.
fight a Thai ever again. He said that he wanted to spread Muay Thai to the world rather than fighting his own people. Buakaw versus Andy Sauer. After a very controversial decision against the Dutch legend, Buakaw again faced his nemesis in the 2006 K1 final. This would cement Buakaw's legendary status. In round 2, Sauer charged in to throw a hook. Buakaw ducked and then came up with his own left hook as Sauer looked away. Then when they were in a clinch break, as Sauer threw a left hook, Buakaw ducked again and went for a big right hook. This rocked Sauer, and as the opponent ducked down, Buakaw landed 3 right uppercuts in a row.
Ooh.
Wow.
To finish the fight, Buakaw framed the lead hand to blind Sauer and landed a beautiful long rear uppercut.
Oh my
He
goodness.
then framed again and timed the perfect
Oh
right
my
hand
goodness.
against Sauer's lead leg kick.
Insane. The rematch went one way.
Ugh. His whole face is like,
Many people said Muay Thai fighters can't punch in kickboxing, but Buakaw proved that Muay Thai fighters also have good punching skills. In this fight, he beat one of the greatest combination punchers in kickboxing history with his punches. After the fight, he was overwhelmed with emotions, becoming the youngest champion to win the prestigious K1 World Grand Prix tournament twice. Buakaw's career was full of brutal and passionate moments. We didn't even include all of his angry and passionate fights. Some of the honourable mentions include fighting Masato, who Buakaw brutally destroyed despite the Japanese judges desperately wanting Masato to win.
These kicks are wild.
Then there was Takayuki Kohirimaki, who pissed off Buakaw by using illegal strikes. He was brutally beaten up in probably the most dominant clinch and knee display in kickboxing history. There was also Yoshihiro Sato, the man who knocked out Buakaw with a liver shot and then a nut shot. Buakaw would revenge nut shot him in one fight, and then knock him out with a left hook in another fight. Buakaw's career is as storied as any, and we can make many more videos about it in the future. He received and delivered so many nut shots that it could be a video by itself. So this was Buakaw's 17 legendary knockouts. What do you think of the Muay Thai legend? Please let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Here's a message from Buakaw if you haven't already.
เราเล่นแค่ชินก็ดีนะที่ได้ทำสโลว์ขึ้นมามันก็ได้แค่ชิน
Apparently he's a fan of this video because he showcased all his abilities. I mean, to me, the thing that stands out the most, I mean, we talked about his speed and his accuracy and his power and all that. The combinations are flawless.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the couple in there where he
Guys,
had
that he goes like pew, pew,
head,
pew.
body, leg. Yes, exactly. Head, body, leg shots or combination. Sorry, like
Yeah.
so insane. They're so crisp, so clean. Like you said, you know, he's thinking of so many chess
Steps
moves ahead.
Yeah, you probably didn't hear me because I was speaking over it while it was playing, but I said he's just so effective in the way that his fight IQ, but also how he executes that and brings it to life.
Yeah, really one of the most impressive fighters I've seen. So I can see why he's such a legend.
Yeah.
And it makes me think because Alex Pereira came from kickboxing to the UFC, right? That's what he was doing beforehand. And we see how successful and dominant he's been. And, you know, this was seeing Buakaw do his thing in kickboxing and dominating that mold. So he's obviously retired now. It just makes me think, I wonder if he had came over to the UFC, if he would have been the champ. I
He
think
probably
based on
would
what
have dominated. He
I
seems like he's
watched,
just
I think so. I think he would have been crushing.
And like I said, to me, it's like so impressive that he's not a super heavy, like what 65 kilograms is what, around 140 pounds?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
145, I think it is. So
Probably
like
145.
that's not that heavy to just be like dropping people like flies.
Yeah, but like I said, it could have been different weight classes because there was a couple of guys he was fighting that looked heavier than that as
true.
well. So, but you know, to have that much power, I think is the technique of your striking. And to me, his kicks were just so wild. I mean, every time he put one up there, it was number one, it was fast, but it was accurate. And you know, the head kicks, I have not seen. You know, I've been watching UFC and MMA for quite a long time, and like, yeah, you see a head kick very rarely knocking somebody, a couple of times a year maybe. We just saw him do like 30.
Yeah. Well, I think too, right? Like you said earlier, the power is obviously very important, but also like striking the right spot. Because if you hit the right spot at a reasonable amount of power, it's probably going to be more impactful than just hitting somebody as hard as you can, but it doesn't hit the right spot.
Yeah. So that was wild. I was super impressed by that. I'm so glad we watched that because I had no idea who this guy was, but he needs to be known because he is fire. So let us know down below if there's anything else that we should check out, any other fighters that we should check out. Getting into another part of the world, another culture, because we obviously know he fought in Asia, right? So this is why we haven't heard about him, but I'm glad that we got to check it out.
Well, I also think it's really cool that he decided to not fight only Thai people and stopped fighting Thai people and fought other cultures to spread not only like, you know, his own legacy, but the legacy of the sport. I think that's
for
really
sure.
cool.
Hit that like button if you enjoyed our video, guys. We appreciate that support. Let this video get out there and reach more people. You can do that by hitting the like button in the comments section, hitting the subscribe button. Lets us know that you want us to get more about Buakaw and of other fighters on the channel. And other than that, we hope you have a great day. We'll see you soon.
Thanks for watching.